You were never created to break under pressure. You were born to rise through it. Mental strength isn't a gift, it's a decision. And today, you decide to conquer everything that once tried to conquer you. In a world that constantly pulls at your peace and attacks your focus, mental strength is no longer optional, it's essential. Your breakthrough, your purpose, your success all begin in one place, your mind. Today we're going to train it, not to survive, but to dominate, because the power to overcome is already within you. You must govern your thoughts, or they will govern you. The mind is the command center of your entire life. Every decision, every emotion, every action, it all begins as a seed in your thoughts. And if you do not take dominion over your thoughts, they will take dominion over you. You cannot allow your mind to be a dumping ground for every fear, every doubt, every toxic memory, or every insecure whisper from your past. The mind is not a playground for anxiety, it is a battlefield for authority. And whoever has the authority over your mind controls your life. The scripture declares, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That verse is not just a spiritual idea, it is a law of life. You don't live at the level of your goals, you live at the level of your thoughts. A person can have vision, talent, and even faith, but if their thinking is weak, their life will remain small. Your thoughts are the thermostat that sets the climate of your future. And until you raise the standard of your thinking, you will keep hitting the same invisible ceilings over and over again. You can't expect to live in victory while thinking in defeat. Negative thinking is not innocent, it is a thief. It robs you of joy, strips you of courage, and chains you to cycles God never intended you to live in. That's why you must arrest every thought that contradicts God's truth. You must be aggressive with your mind. You can't casually hope that toxic thoughts go away. You have to confront them, challenge them, replace them. Don't just say, I'm worried. Say, no, I have peace that passes understanding. Don't just say, I'm not enough. Say, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Train your mind to agree with heaven, because your mind will eventually believe whatever you repeat to it the most. There is power in your words, because your words shape your thinking. Speak life until your mind has no room for death. Speak hope until your doubts feel homeless. Speak purpose until confusion retreats. This is not just positive thinking, it is divine alignment. When your thoughts align with truth, your life aligns with purpose. That's when real change happens. That's when strongholds break. That's when cycles end, because every transformation starts with a renewed mind. So make a decision today, not just to think better, but to take dominion over your thoughts. Every morning before your feet touch the floor, declare war on passivity. Guard the gates of your mind. Refuse to meditate on defeat. Fill your mind with what builds, not what breaks. Because when you govern your thoughts, you govern your life. And when your thoughts come under the rule of truth, your destiny comes under the rule of purpose. Govern your thoughts, because you are not a prisoner of your mind, you are the ruler of it. Stop asking for an easier life. Start developing a stronger mind. Diamonds are made under pressure, and so are champions. Pressure reveals what's inside of you. If you run every time life gets hard, you forfeit your future. But if you learn to stand, to breathe, to focus, and to fight, you become unstoppable. Let pressure develop you, not destroy you. Let it become your proving ground, not your prison. Pressure is not an interruption in your story, it is the story. It's the very process that separates the average from the anointed, the ordinary from the unstoppable. When the heat is on, it doesn't mean you're failing. It means something is being forged. There is a version of you that only pressure can introduce to the world. It's the version that doesn't flinch in the face of adversity, that doesn't fold when plans fall apart, that doesn't panic when the pressure mounts, but rises, adapts, and dominates. You see, God never promised us a life free from trials. He promised us victory in the midst of them. And the only way to live that truth is to stop resenting the pressure and start recognizing its purpose. Some of the greatest breakthroughs are born in seasons where everything felt like it was falling apart, but what you thought was falling apart was actually falling into place. Pressure realigns your priorities. It teaches you to depend on what's real. It strips away the distractions, the excuses, and the illusions, and forces you to confront what truly matters. Pressure doesn't show up to break you. It shows up to build the muscle you didn't know you had. And if you lean into it instead of running from it, you'll discover that the struggle is training you for the very thing you've been praying for. There are lessons pressure teaches that comfort never could. It teaches endurance when there's no way out but through. It teaches clarity when you're forced to silence the noise and listen to your inner voice. It teaches trust, not just in yourself, but in the one who said, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you." Pressure is not evidence of abandonment, it's evidence of refinement. You're being refined like gold in the fire, shaped, tested, and prepared for something greater than you could imagine. So stop asking for life to get easier. Start asking for your back to get stronger. Start asking for wisdom in the middle of the storm. Start asking for vision when the fog settles in. The pressure is not a punishment. It's a platform. And when you shift your mindset, when you decide that pressure is not where you die but where you rise, everything changes. You won't just survive the pressure, you'll thrive under it. You'll come out of it wiser, bolder, sharper, and more focused than you've ever been. Because the pressure didn't break you, it introduced the real you. You will never master your mind if your emotions run your day. Feelings are real, but they are not always true. Don't let temporary emotions create permanent decisions. Strength comes from responding, not reacting. Control the narrative in your head before it controls you. Your emotions are indicators, not dictators. You lead them. They don't lead you. Because if you don't rule your emotions will rule you. And anything that rules you owns your future. Emotional discipline isn't about denying how you feel. It's about putting your feelings in their rightful place, under your authority. You can feel overwhelmed, but you don't have to live overwhelmed. You can feel afraid, but you don't have to act afraid. Just because a storm hits your soul doesn't mean you let it flood your life. A mentally strong person understands that emotions are powerful, but they are not permanent. They shift, they pass, they fade. But decisions you make in those emotional moments, those last. And the cost of undisciplined emotions is often regret you never planned for. Discipline is not repression, it's redirection. When anger rises, you don't have to suppress it, but you must choose what you do with it. When fear whispers, you don't have to listen, you get to ask, is this voice serving my destiny or sabotaging it? That's what emotional maturity looks like. It doesn't mean you feel less, it means you think more clearly, it means you pause when others panic, it means you walk in wisdom while others drown in emotional discipline is strength under control. And when you can control your internal environment, external chaos loses its grip on you. Most people think the battle is outside of them, but the greatest war is internal. It's between your spirit and your emotions, your vision and your feelings, your future and your frustrations. Every time you choose to breathe instead of break, every time you choose to pause instead of explode, every time you choose to pray instead of panic, you are training your mind to rise above what tries to pull you down. You are not weak because you feel deeply. You are only weak when your feelings become your guide instead of your servant. Your emotions are meant to serve your mission, not sabotage it. Don't let a bad moment become a bad mindset. Don't let a wounded place birth a wrong decision. Power comes when you stay rooted, when you remain stable, when you remember who you are in the face of emotional storms. God did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That means a disciplined mind, a mind that doesn't crack under pressure, a mind that thinks before it moves, a mind that refuses to hand over the keys of its destiny to fleeting emotions. If you want to be mentally strong, you must commit to emotional mastery. You must train your soul to be led by truth, not triggered by trauma. The mind that conquers emotion becomes the mind that conquers mountains. Emotional discipline is not a suggestion, it is the secret weapon of the unstoppable. Isolation is one of the greatest traps that the enemy uses to weaken your mind. When you withdraw from others, when you shut yourself off because you feel weak or broken, you give the enemy an open door to attack your thoughts and steal your peace. You must understand that mental strength does not grow in solitude, it grows in connection. The human mind was never designed to be a lone warrior. It thrives in the company of others who push you, challenge you, and elevate your thinking. When you isolate yourself, you create a vacuum that negativity and lies will rush to fill. Silence is not always golden, it can be deadly. When it becomes the place where doubts fester and fears multiply, the strongest minds are not those who never face struggle, but those who refuse to face it alone. You need a community, a circle of trusted people who will not only celebrate your victories, but will also stand firm when you are under attack. Iron sharpens iron because iron connects. It is the friction of a meaningful relationship that hones your character and sharpens your mental resolve. When you allow yourself to be around people who speak truth to you, who hold you accountable, and who challenge you to rise above your current limits, you engage in a powerful process of growth. Without connection, your thoughts become echo chambers where negative self-talk goes unchallenged and your mind becomes vulnerable. Mental strength is not built by avoiding pain or pretending everything is fine. It's built by sharing your struggles, being transparent, and inviting correction. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is the courage to let others see you as you are, to receive their wisdom and encouragement, and to allow their strength to bolster your own. When you isolate, you rob yourself of the benefit of collective wisdom and shared resilience. Think about the greatest leaders, the most resilient warriors. None of them stood alone. Every champion has a tribe, a team, a community that has supported them through trials and triumphs. They had people who pushed them when they felt weak, who reminded them of their purpose when they doubted themselves, and who refused to let them quit. This is not coincidence, it's principle. You cannot become mentally strong in isolation because strength is often forged in the heat of community. Your mind needs alignment with visionaries, with those who see the potential inside you even when you can't see it yourself. It needs the voices of those who speak life and possibility when your inner critic screams defeat. This is why it's critical to choose your company wisely. The people you surround yourself with have the power to either elevate or erode your mental strength. Choose those who will call out your greatness, not your failures. Choose those who will correct your destructive patterns, not those who enable them. In the training ground of community, you learn valuable lessons about yourself. You discover your blind spots, your hidden fears, and your untapped potential. You experience accountability, which is the backbone of mental discipline. You are reminded that you are not alone in your struggles and that collective wisdom is greater than individual effort. Remember, mental strength is not the absence of vulnerability or difficulty. It is the resilience that comes from connection, support, and shared purpose. Isolation is a weapon, but community is a fortress. When you step out of loneliness and into alignment with others, you empower your mind to overcome obstacles, to break destructive cycles, and to walk boldly toward your destiny. Never underestimate the power of community in your mental training. Let go of pride, open your heart, and connect. Build relationships that sharpen your mind and soul, because mental strength isn't a solo journey, it's a collective victory. Just like your body reflects what you eat, your mind reflects what you consume. This is not a mere metaphor, it is a fundamental truth of how life operates. If you feed your body unhealthy food, you get weakness, disease, and lethargy. In the same way, if you fill your mind with junk, whether it's toxic thoughts, negative words, or useless distractions, you cannot expect it to produce peace, clarity, or strength. Your mental health, your attitude, your resilience, all depend on the quality of the input you allow into your mind. What you listen to matters, what you watch matters, what you read matters. Every single piece of information you allow yourself to absorb either builds you up or tears you down. You become the product of your environment, but most importantly, you become the product of your mind's diet. Feeding your mind wisdom means seeking out knowledge that empowers you. Wisdom is not just knowing facts, it is understanding how to apply truth to your life. It is the difference between merely hearing a sermon and being transformed by it. It's the difference between reading a book and living the principles taught in it. You must purposefully choose to feed your mind with things that elevate your thinking, whether that be books that challenge you, podcasts that inspire you, or conversations that sharpen you. But beware, not everything that looks good is good for your mind. Avoid the poison of gossip, the sludge of meaningless entertainment, and the paralysis of endless social media scrolling. These things steal your time and steal your peace. They dilute your purpose and distract you from your destiny. Feeding your mind truth is equally critical. Truth is the foundation of mental strength. Lies, whether from the world, others, or your own fears, will always attempt to break you down. But truth stands firm. When you anchor your mind in the truth of who you are, what you are capable of, and what your purpose is, you build a fortress of resilience. Truth lights the way in darkness and keeps your thoughts from wandering into despair. It is the solid rock on which you build your mental fortress. Feeding your mind power means intentionally choosing inputs that give you strength. This could be spiritual power from prayer and meditation on God's Word, emotional power from encouragement and positive reinforcement, or intellectual power from continual learning and growth. Power is not just physical, it is mental and spiritual. Without power, you wilt under pressure. With power, you stand firm, unshaken by storms. Renew your mind daily. This is not a one-time event, it is a lifestyle. Every morning you must renew your mind by choosing what you will focus on. You must intentionally fill your thoughts with faith, hope, and courage before the noise of the day can crowd them out. This daily renewal is like charging a battery. Without it, your mind runs on empty. It is the secret weapon of the mentally strong. Train your mind like a soldier preparing for war. Mental strength does not come by accident. It is built with discipline, intention, and consistency. A soldier does not enter battle unprepared. Neither should you enter your daily life without mental preparation. Life is spiritual warfare, and your mind is the battlefield. You must train to recognize lies, to reject negativity, and to stand firm in your convictions. You must practice resilience so that when storms come, you do not crumble. The battles you face will be won or lost in your mind long before they manifest in your circumstances. Because that's exactly what life is, spiritual warfare. The external fights you face are reflections of the battles raging inside your mind. Your greatest enemy is not outside of you, but the thoughts, doubts, fears, and lies you allow to take root in your heart. Mental strength is the victory that begins inside. Train your mind, feed it well, renew it daily, and it will become your greatest weapon, an unstoppable force that can overcome anything. You were not born to be a slave to fear. You were not designed to crumble under chaos. You were created in the image of a God who spoke galaxies into existence. And that same creative power now lives in your mind. So train it, renew it, guard it. Because once your mind is strong, nothing can stop your life from becoming what it was destined to be. This is your moment. Strength isn't given, it's built. Start building, train your mind, and overcome everything.